Hello everyone. So next part is about the examples of the third model, and we are going to see the next example. So here in this case, a switch is connected to pin P1.7. Write a program to check the status of the switch and perform the following. So if the switch is 0 and if switch is 1, so these are the things which has to happen. So send letter N when switch is 0 and send letter Y to P2 respectively when switch is 1, right? So respectively when switch is 0 and 1, you need to send Y and N to P2, right? Port P2 you need to send, right? So we are going to see how it will be done. Set P1.7. So set P1.7 in the sense you are making this pin as an input pin. So you are going to observe continuously this pin. So in this instruction again JB P1.7 comma over, in the sense you are going to check whether the pin is this pin is high or low. So jump bit P1.7, so it will check here. So this bit is high, then it will jump to over. So where is this over level? So here it will come. So when it is high, so according to the case they have given switch is equal to 1, they will need to jump to this, and here you can see P2 is loaded with the Y, right? So this is immediate data. So here you can send the directly the character kind of the thing. So here you can send the letters. So character kind of the things I will be sending to the port 2. So P2 is loaded with the immediate Y, and when it is 0, that is jump B, this instruction is not means it is not correct or it's not true, then it will execute the next, that is move P2 comma N, means this first case is going to be true, that is switch is 0, means when this case it is 0, then it will be executing this instruction. Then S jump again in the sense again it will be jumping to this location and it's going to be performed. Here also it is going to jump to this and it is performing the task repeatedly. So this will be kept in a continuous loop. So next example we are going to see, a switch is connected to P1.7. Write a program to check the status, and here also right. So I guess okay, so this is the same program which we have seen. Here we can see that only one changes they have made is, so they have taken that bit to the carry flag. So we are going to see this kind of a program is there as we have seen earlier, but we are using here the carry flag. So a switch is connected to the pin P1.7. Write program to check the status of switch and perform the following. If switch is 0, then send letter N to P2. If switch is 1, send letter Y to P2. Use the carry flag to check the status. So here in this program we are using the carry flag. So earlier we are not using the carry flag here, but here in this case we are using the carry flag. So set B P1.7, set B P1.7. So it is going to make this P1.7, means this P1.7 is made as an input port. Then we are going to read from this P1.7 pin. Then it the whatever the bit we will be getting from P1.7, that will be loaded to the this carry flag, move C P1.7, and this whatever the bit we are reading, that will be loaded to the carry flag. Then this instruction jump carry. So if it is high, so this bit is high, then it will jump where, jump carry over. So carry generated in the sense it will jump to over. According to this, what it has to do is move P2 comma Y. So in the sense P2 is loaded with the Y. If it is not 0, if carry is not generated, in the sense it will execute this instruction is move P2 comma N, in the sense that is this situation when the carry is not generated. So here if the P1.7 contains 0, then it will execute this instruction. If it contains 1, then it will execute this instruction, right? So similarly as it was done previously, the same thing it has to happen, but here they are not used any of the carry flag, but here in this case here they are using the carry flag. So next program we are going to see, next example, write a program to see if the RAM location 37 contains an even value. If so, send it to P2. If not, make it even and then send it to P2. So in this program what we need to do is we need to check the location 37H of the RAM. So if it is even or odd, if the value is even, then you need to send it to P2, otherwise you need to make it even and send it to P2, right? So that is what the program is. So we are going to see how it will be done. Move A, 37H, in the sense from 37H location whatever the value is there, that will be loaded to accumulator. Then jump not bit accumulator 0th bit comma S, in the sense we are checking the accumulator 0th bit. Accumulator 0th bit will decide whether the accumulator value is even or odd. If the accumulator 0th bit is 0, then it is even. If the accumulator 0th bit is 1, then it is going to be odd, right? So it will check. How it will be checked is jump not bit accumulator 0th bit S. So if the bit is not 0, so jump not bit. So if this bit is not 0, in the sense if this is even number, then it will jump to where? It will jump to S. It is accumulator content directly loaded to P2 that it has been given in the description. If it is not, then it will increment the accumulator. If suppose we think like 37H contains some 5, right? So 5 is the odd number. So 5 in the sense accumulator's content will be 0 1 0 1, right? So the last bit 0th bit will be obviously 1. In the sense this will not be true, then it will go for the next instruction, that is it will be incrementing. So accumulator content is made 5 to 6, right? So incremented by 1, in the sense 5 was made to 6, then that will be loaded to this P2, right? So send to P2, right? So this is how this program is going to execute, right? So next we're going to see some other examples. So here in this case, the status of bits P1, P1.2 and P1.3 of input IO port P1 must be saved before they are changed. Write a program to save the status of P1.2 in bit location 06 and status of P1.3 in bit location 07. So here in this program, what we need to do is we need to check the P1.2 and P1.3 pins status, and accordingly the status are saved to the locations 06 and 07, and these will be holding the status of this P1.2 and P1.3. So now we are going to see how it will be done. So clear 06, clear 07. So these are the locations. 06 and 07 are the locations where we are going to store the status of P1.2 and P1.3. So before, if you are storing that status, you just have to clear them, right? So that's what it's been done. Next, set B06, right? So before this, what they are doing, J and B P1.2 come over. So in the sense P1.2 is 0 or 1, they are checking. So if it is not 0, then it has to jump to where this one, to location over. So that is, it will jump to this one. Then J and B P1.3, then it will jump to the next, right? So this will be where it will be taken, right? So if it is 1, then it will be setting the it will be set, it is set B06, in the sense 06 location will be this 06 location will be set to 1, right? So in the sense what P1 to P1.2 and P1.3 are respectively checked. P1.1 P1.2 and P1.3 status are respectively stored on 6 and 7. So this is how it is going to check the status. So if it is 1, then set B06. If it is 1, then it will set B07. Means these two locations 06 and 07 will store the status of P1.2 and P1.3, right? If it is not 0, means then only it will save. If it is 0, in the sense it will be taken to the next, right? So if in the case P1.2 status is 0, means it is not 1, then it will be taken to the here. So even if it is not 0, then it will be taken to here, right? So they won't set the 06 and 07's locations, right? So this is how it's going to execute. So next we are going to see next example. A switch is connected to P1.7 and an LED to P2.0. Write a program to get the status of switch and send it to LED. So we are going to see a program here. We are using the switch and LED, and we are going to based upon the status of switches, we are going to make the LED on and off. So here in this case, as it is been, a switch is connected to P1.7, right? So switch here, it is connected to P1.7, and LED is connected to switch is connected to P1.7 and LED is connected to P2.0. Write a program to get the status of LED. So here what they have made is LED is connected to P1.7 and switch is connected to P2.0. No problem. So you can interchange based upon your requirement, or based upon your assumption. You can take as a LED switch as P1.2 sorry, P2.0 and P1.7, in any way you can take them. So here LED is assigned with a P1.7. so this bit indicates that LED is resembling P1.7. so whenever the LED comes, so LED is kind of a what you can say is a variable. So this variable is assigned with a particular port name. So this is P1.7. so it will be assigned with a directive bit. So bit is in a directive which will be used to assign the what you can say the particular bit representation to the particular variable, right? So SW is also a variable. So for this we are going to assign the P2.0 bit. So here move C comma SW. So SW, it will be the switch condition that will be loaded to the C. C means it is a your carry flag. Then move LED comma C. So carry flags content will be moved to LED, right? So just jump here in the sense it's continuously it will be looping in this way. So whenever the LED is on, whenever the switch is on, LED will be made on, right? So in this way it is made simple. So you would ask why they have not used any register, why they have just used it on a C here. So since this is a bit operation, we don't have a byte operation here. So single bit we are transferring, so they are using the move C comma SW. Instead of this one you can use move accumulator 0th bit comma SW, then here LED comma LED comma accumulator 0th bit. Likewise you can use them. So next is assume the bit P2.3 is an input and represent the condition of an oven. If it goes high, it means that the oven is hot. Monitor the bit continuously. Whenever it goes high, send a high to low pulse to port P1.5 to turn on a buzzer. So we are going to see how actually it will be done. So here also they have used a variable oven hot and buzzer. So these are the two variables which are assigned with the P2.3 and P1.5 bit what you can say bit assignment. So whenever this oven hot will come, it is representing P2.3, and whenever this buzzer comes, so it is representing P1.5. so it is as if indirectly mentioned. So next is jump not bit over oven hot. So here it is going to check whether the P2.3 is high or low, right? So whenever this in this instruction it is checking whether it is a low, right? So if it is a low, then it will be continuously in the loop, right? So if it means P2.3 is 0, mean that in that case it will be in continuous loop. So if it is high, then it will go for the call delay. Then complement buzzer means it is going to complement the this P1.5, that is it is going to invert this. Then a call delay. Then again you are going to jump to here. So this is how it is going to work. So that's what it have mentioned here. Whenever it goes high, second high to low pulse to port P1.5, right? So whenever it is high, that time only it has to send with a P1.5 is loaded with a high to low transition. So here it is made high to low transition. So here it is sending high, then again it is going to make that is high to low transition while making the complement, right? So if it is high, it will made low. If it is low, it will made high, right? So here it is done, right? So this will be continuous in the loop. So within this continuous loop, this program is going to be executed. So next we are going to see one more program. A switch is connected to pin P1.7. Write program to check the status of the switch and make the following decisions. So switch 0 and switch 1, if they are 0 and 1, alternately they need to make P2 0 and 1. So we're going to see how actually it will be done. So SW EQ P1.7, my data EQ P2. So here EQ in the sense it's a equivalent. So whenever you are getting this SW, it is as if it is replaced by P1.7. my data whenever it comes, it is replaced by the P2, right? So no need to write continuously as P1.7 P2.7 like that. Instead of that, what you would write is, so you can just replace using this instruction, right? So whenever you want to use this P1.7, there you can just use it as SW, right? So no need to write it like P1.7 P2.7 like that. You don't have to write it. Then here this p1.7 p2 here will this p1.7 is having its address, so this is 97h, and p2 is having an address 080h, right? So these are the addresses of this particular pins where the particular data is going to be obtained. So move c comma sw, so it is as if p1.7's data, whatever it is 0 or 1, that will be loaded to this carry flag. Then jump carry over, so if you carry is 1, then it will jump to here. Then according to the description what it is been given, so if it is 1, what it has to done, my data has to be loaded with the 1, right? So my data is what, it is a p2, so p2 is loaded with 1, so that's what it is happening. Move my data comma 1, so 1 is loaded onto the my data, so my data is nothing but it's a p2, right? So again as jump here, in the sense again it is going to repeat it, right? So if it is jump carries over, jump carry over, in the sense carry generator, in the sense that time it will come here. So if it is not 1, if it is 0, that time it will come to this instruction move my data comma hash 0, so 0 will be loaded to my data, so that is it is executing the first condition, right? So this is how again sjump here, in the sense is going to repeat. So this will be continuously in a loop to execute the further instruction. So next we are going to see the next program. Assume that on-chip ROM has a message. Write a program to copy it from the code space into the upper memory space starting at the address 80h. Also, as you place a byte in upper RAM, give a copy to P0. Okay, so we are going to see how actually this program is going to be done. So what they are told is write a program to copy it from a code space into the upper memory space. You need to copy a code space to upper memory space. Then starting at the address, so they have given the address location where you need to copy from, so that is the 80h. So org0h we are going to start a program. Move dptr comma my data, so here we are going to use the location, that is my data is the location where the data is residing, that will be pointed by the dptr. Then move r1 comma 80h, so r1 is the access the upper memory, so this is the upper memory address. Then clear a, so accumulator is clear. Move c a comma at a plus dptr, in the sense it is going to copy the code from the ROM, right? So move c, in the sense it is going to copy the data from the code memory, right? So simply move, in the sense it's going to copy the data from the data memory. So move c, in the sense it's going to copy the data value from the code memory. Move at r1 comma a, in the sense at this location 80h location accumulators content will be loaded. Then move p0 comma a, in the sense whatever the data in their accumulator, that will be loaded to p0. Then it is going to jump 0 exit, in the sense it is going to check the accumulators content. If it is 0, then it is going to jump to here and it is going to execute the further. If it is not, then it is going to increment dptr, increment r1, sjump b1, so it is going to repeat this value, right? So until the accumulators content becomes 0, it will be in continuous loop, right? So all the values are going to be copied from one location to another location, as it has been described in the description of this problem statement, right? So next things we are going to discuss in next video lecture. Thank you.